Hey everybody, I'm Rick Walker. You're watching Auto Show News. OMVIC, the Ontario Motor Vehicle Industry Council, has just announced a new program to educate car salespeople and to provide more information to car dealerships. They're calling it their Improving Compliance Through Education program. And this program will provide video resources to dealers that will include information on all-in-one pricing, contract cancellation, disclosing collision repairs to consumers, discussing vehicle condition and needed repairs with consumers, and also disclosing negative equity on bills of sale. Now, there will also be an information toolkit to supplement those videos that will also be available to dealers and to car salespeople. And that toolkit will include fact sheets, advertising price calculators, advertising compliance templates, a negative equity calculator to help dealers educate consumers, and there will also be posters with information that they can put up in dealerships to provide information to consumers when they come in to test drive and to inspect new and used vehicles. Now, OMVIC is the regulatory body that oversees dealerships across Ontario. They are really there to protect consumers. They're there to protect you. And it's an organization that was set up in response to people buying lemons, especially used cars that were lemons, but also to protect consumers from false advertising practices that gave some car dealers a bad name. So today, dealers don't generally mind having the regulations in place through OMVIC because it puts all dealers on a level playing field. It forces them all to play by the same rules while at the same time protecting consumers against lemons. It also protects consumers against curbsiders, people who buy and sell, well, they buy sort of junker cars or cars that have been wrecked and fix them up and sell them privately. And they're really acting as a dealer, but they're not registered as a dealer. And when they do that, you're not given any protection under the law because you're kind of on your own. When you buy a car from an OMVIC certified dealer, there are a lot of protections that go along with that. And that's the important thing, and that's why OMVIC attends a lot of the larger auto shows, including the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show, which is coming up next. OMVIC will be on site. They will have people there to answer questions for consumers, so you can find out a lot more about what OMVIC does and how you can protect yourself when you're buying either a new or used vehicle. We recently did an interview with OMVIC's Director of Communications, Terry O'Keefe. He shared some of that important information with us, and we now share that with you. I'm Rick Walker with the SST Car Show at the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show at the Shaw Centre in downtown Ottawa, and I'm with Terry O'Keefe from OMVIC, the Ontario Motor Vehicle
Industry Council.
Industry Council. I always get stuck on the I. The Industry Council, which is there to protect consumers, automotive consumers. And one of the things that you guys are still, I guess, pushing is this all-in pricing. Why is that so important?
It has been the law since 2010 that if a dealer advertises a price for a vehicle, that the price includes all fees and charges that dealer intends to collect, with the exception of HST and licensing. Unfortunately, even 6 years in, we still see unacceptably high levels of non-compliance by some dealers. Not the majority, but by some. And if you went to the OMVIC website and you looked at the discipline history, because anytime we charge or discipline a dealer, that's a public document, public record, it's available on our website. You would see the most common reason a registered dealer gets disciplined today is for breaching the all-in pricing regulations. And so consumers should know that when they see that price, and then they went to the dealership can't tell the consumer then, oh, well, there's an administration fee. Or we've installed nitrogen in the tire, so there's a fee for that. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the dealer charging an administration fee, or if they've pre-installed a product, charging for it. But those charges have to be included in the advertised price. It can't be a surprise at the dealership.
So give me another example of what a dealer who is in non-compliance might be engaged in. What kind of pricing scenario are we looking at? Is this like, this is the price plus blah, 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 blah?
Exactly. It could be, if it's a new vehicle, the advertisement might not have included freight and PDI. And that can be, $1,500, $1,800, $2,000. That's a huge price difference. So if the ad was placed by a dealer, it has to include all those fees except HST and licensing. Now, there is one caveat. All these regulations apply to ads placed by dealers. They don't apply to ads placed by manufacturers. So if that newspaper ad was from manufacturer X and it doesn't name a dealership, it's not bound by these regulations, and that can cause confusion for consumers who do know about all-in pricing. But if the ad is from a dealer, if it's if it's on the dealer's own website, if it's a sign hanging from the car that the dealer has put there, it has to be compliant with the all-in price advertising regulations.
I just see a lot of confusion in that scenario. So how do consumers deal with that? I guess how do you differentiate between that ad and know what you're getting?
No, you're absolutely right. It does cause confusion. And I can tell you that the consumer associations in Ontario and even the dealer trade associations, the Trillium and the Used Car Dealers Association, are lobbying the government to change the law so that manufacturers will be captured by this as well, so to end that confusion. And so that's something that's ongoing right now.
So I guess you have to get the dealers on side with that. You have to get the manufacturers on side with that. Kind of get everybody in the same chapter in the book.
Exactly. Well, the dealers are on side, as are, of course, the consumer groups. And in fact, in Quebec, manufacturers are captured by Quebec's legislation that requires them to do all-in price advertising in Quebec. But in Ontario, that's not the way the law is written currently.
And I can see how dealers would want everyone to sort of be playing from the same playbook, right? Because it just levels everything off.
That's exactly right. This is not just about providing transparency to consumers, and don't get me wrong, that's important, but it is about creating a level playing field for dealers. If you and I were both dealers selling the exact same car, and I did an all-in price that included all my fees, but you were doing a price that didn't include all your fees, your cars would appear cheaper when in fact they weren't. And that's not fair to your customer, and it's not fair to me, your competitor.
So what should a consumer do if they come across what they think might be an ad that was placed improperly?
If a consumer went to a dealership and they've got it, and we're talking about an advertised price, and they have the ad and the dealer says, oh no, there's all these additional fees, our advice is to simply walk away. That dealer doesn't deserve your business. Shop elsewhere and report that dealership to OMVIC.
Okay. And your website for more information and whatever other services people would find there is?
omvic.ca.
All right. Thank you very much, Terry.
Pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. You can find out a whole lot more about OMVIC at the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show, March 21st to 24th at the Shaw Centre in downtown Ottawa. I'm Rick Walker. You're watching Auto Show News.